My research is qualitative. I want to hear about the lived experience of people who experience homelessness. I believe they are the experts of their lives, and by getting to know their lives and their ideas, then you get a better understanding of homelessness as an issue. I think it's very important because the people who experience the homelessness, they know what it is like. And they also understand their needs. They are the experts. I cannot come from my own middle-class environment and know what it is like to be homeless. So I think it's most important to actually hear from them and hear their stories. Well, I do not only do research, I'm also doing practice. I work as a nurse on the health bus, which is an outreach program for people who are experiencing homelessness. And I work as a nurse and on the bus and see people regarding their healthcare needs. And in my opinion, the most important issue is to have safe housing that's clean and shelters people from the environment, the elements, as well as keeps them safe from infectious diseases, for instance, that thrive in overcrowding, like in overcrowded shelters. And they also need an adequate income so they can afford proper nutrition, proper clothing, and all the necessities of life that people need in order to stay healthy. Housing should be a right. There should be standards, there should be a housing policy on all levels of government. We should have one so that people have, it should be a right to have safe and effective clean housing that is livable. The second policy is that we should have an adequate income. Everybody should have an adequate income that they can live and afford the necessities of life. Well, I think that the most controversial question is about harm reduction right now. The notion is that harm reduction precludes everything else. So you're just facilitating addictions, which is not true because people also get counseling on that. And we have to start somewhere. And getting people to trust, I think everything starts with trust. So when you work with harm reduction, you get a trust of people. And people will change when they are ready to change and when they have the possibility to change. As long as their living conditions are really poor, they cannot change. It's a vicious cycle. There's nothing else to do. And self-medication through taking drugs or alcohol is very common. So unless we provide an alternative, how are people going to get out of it? It's like being in a hole and not able to get out of it. And housing should be first, and I think we have started with that. And we will see how that goes, and I hope there is enough support for people when they are in housing, because they need, it's a big change in their life, actually, after being homeless for so long. And they need support, and I hope the supports are there for them. One barrier is that many homeless people don't have IDs, which includes the OHIP card. IDs get lost and stolen when you're homeless. Just imagine you have to always carry everything with you, whatever your belongings are. So it's easy. Sometimes you have to maybe leave it there, or you leave it there for a few minutes, and it's gone. So that's one barrier. So another barrier is the attitude of healthcare providers, unfortunately. I think it's getting slowly better, but people seem to feel that it's your fault that you're homeless. Why can't you get out of it? we seem to blame the individual, and so that gives them then the right to treat people in a disrespectful manner. That's what I learned from my own research. That's what people told me, that they often get treated very badly. If people were comfortable accessing healthcare when they need it, it would probably prevent a lot of costs later. Because if you start with a small problem and you treat it in a preventative way, as long as it's small, then it does not become a full-blown issue later, and needs a lot, and later it will need a lot more medication, a lot more treatments, and it will cost the healthcare system a lot more money.